Sometimes the need to keep them fresh.
I'm in a little place called Bahia de los Muertos this morning. Yesterday was quite rough at sea. Salt spray over the bow all day long. Everything's covered in salt, and I forgot to close the forward hatch, so the stuff up in the V berth is a little bit salty. I guess I won't need to hang my clothes up. My pants, I can just stand them up in the corner. Nice and crusty. I left San Lucas, is that the name? About noon a day or two ago, and I thought I'd sail up to LaPaz, and when I left it was light winds. I raised the mainsail, spent an hour or so taking the chimney off the front of the deck for the fireplace. I removed it, and then as I turned the corner into the Sea of Cortez and headed north, the wind and the waves picked up, and I sailed all afternoon and all night. Some really nice sailing. It was quite rough to begin with, and then it smoothed out. And then in the morning, I took a look at my location progress and how far I had yet to go, and how I would have to sail way off of my course line this way and that way to get where I was going, and concluded that I was going to have to be up for another entire day and night, possibly 2 more nights, and 1 night without sleep is pretty much all I can manage. So I set about starting the engine, and the sea was really rough again, and both the sea and the wind were straight on the nose. I was only going forward at about 2 knots over ground. So I decided to take the sails down and use the motor. A number of things broke. The topmost attachment point of the mainsail to the slide track on the mast broke. My headboard flipped over and got caught in the topping lift. So I couldn't get the mainsail down. The only way I could get it down was to cut the line to the topping lift and let the boom down onto the cabin of the boat, cabin top. And lash it in place and wad the sail up down on the deck. So it took quite a while in the seas with the front of the boat bouncing up and down somewhere between, I don't know, at least 15 feet from up to down the front of the boat. I took the head sail down first. That was a struggle. Anyway, after a couple hours, I had everything down and was motoring toward my destination, but it was still going to be, even with the motor, another 26 hours. So I looked at the map and looked at my little boating guide and came over here to Bahia de los Muertos. Got here about 4 and dropped the anchor and made something to eat and eventually went to bed. So today, the boat is a huge mess, both inside and out. I have to fix the topping lift and fix the head sail slide attachment up at the headboard. Get the boom. Did I say mast earlier? The boom is laying on the cabin top, tied in place. Got to get that all fixed. Get everything all tidied up. And then probably tomorrow, Saturday, head up the last 50 or so miles to LaPaz. My next door neighbor out there in the water, he wants to buddy boat from here to LaPaz. He left a couple of days ago, which would have been the day that I was headed north in the Sea of Cortez, and attempted to go to LaPaz, but he didn't get very far before he encountered 35 knots of wind, and he's single-handing, and he decided he wasn't going to do that, so he came back here to Muertos and dropped his anchor again. Anyway, time and effort. One thing I like about this whole sailing thing is, like, it's a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, full body workout. Whether you call it aching or tingling, I'm not sure, but I feel very alive. My coffee tin is dangerously low. And I've been struggling to keep my solar panel pointed at the sun to keep my little fridge running. My battery pack's all the way down to 8%. Looks like it must be sort of pointed at the sun this morning. I'm getting 19 watts. Anyway, the fridge is almost empty, so not too worried if I can't preserve the little bit of food that's left in there. I need to install an inverter so that I can use my 12-volt power to charge up that battery pack when I'm underway. I'll probably be in LaPaz for a while because there's several things I've realized I need to do to the boat to make it more comfortable to sail in heavy seas. I want some sort of a more of a cockpit-ish cockpit back by the helm wheel so that I can actually sit down in something that feels secure. Sort of a, I don't know, I'll build something, I think. And I need a thing down at the bottom to put my feet on that has a tilt angle on it, so that when I'm leaning back, my feet don't slide out forward from under me. The last thing I need is a broken leg. It looks really calm this morning. So much for my complaints about having no wind for all these months coming south. When I looked at the weather a few days ago and I saw that there was going to be wind on the Sea of Cortez, I decided, well, here's your wind. Stop complaining about no wind and go use the wind. So I did. And there's some really nice sailing through the night. Some of it, like I say, was very, very rough. And then it smoothed out, and it was quite interesting. I learned a few things about the boat. I learned that if you get everything set just right, you don't need an autopilot. If the sails and the rudder and everything are set just so, it'll go for hours. In a heading, it'll wander up a few degrees, and then the boat will speed up. When it heads up, it slows down. When it starts to fall off, it heels over more and speeds up, but it just hangs around within about a 10 or 15 degree range, and it's sort of like magic. I suppose I should have known that by now, but hey, I've only had the boat for 6 years. Gotta get to work here.